Welcome to the Comics News Wire, where we get our news from the comics newsroom found at comicbookadvocates.com. This show is anchored by Mr. Anderson, who is the unboxable, advocating creator known as the Indie Comics Devil, who will tempt you with his devilish tales of fetish, monsters, and more. Join him and his co-anchors as they give you the comics news coming off the wire. This show is brought to you in association with ComicBookAdvocates.com is the global digital Comic-Con, but it's more than that, and you can be more too. Be more than just a fan. Become an advocate for comics like ComicBookAdvocates.com is for their creators, for their crowdfunding, for the very books they're creating, because we love comics.
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.
New from Terraform Comics, Hybrids, The Sons of Gods, Volume 1, Trash Day. When everyday people develop godlike abilities, it is up to a small band of heroes to expose an evil superhuman trafficking ring. This 128-page volume merges history with fiction in an exciting, fast-paced adventure. Get your copy now.
I know what you're thinking, but Rob, how could Hybrids and Terraform's new graphic novel be actually part of the people who bring you this program? Well, I'm bribable. And Luke Stone bribed me this morning and said, hey, can you run that ad as we started? So we're going to go ahead and bring in Luke Stone. And we also have another co-anchor today. We're going to have tons of co-anchors today. Ben from Shark of War.
Ben.
What are you guys?
Hey, Luke. Hey,
What's up,
Rob.
man?
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So talk to us about Hybrids. I heard that there's some stuff going on with Hybrids. What's up?
Yeah, man, we got some cool things going on with Hybrids right now. There is just about $523 left to get to that initial funding goal for our Indiegogo. And so we're running a special contest that we'll be announcing here later today. Over the weekend, like we're partnering with another group to be able to bring you some really cool opportunities to get some really cool gear. So we'll be doing that. And once we hit that 5,000 mark, we're going to be opening things up on Kickstarter, and we'll be combining the two campaigns totals to reach all of our stretch goals. So you will be, hopefully by next week, be able to get a copy of Hybrids, The Sons of Gods Trash Day, the whole volume, the first arc, the trade paperback, on Kickstarter as well. So we're looking forward to that, man.
Now, there's a rumor. Is there like some sort of perk going on? Is that a rumor?
A perk? You mean like a secret perk that you can only get if someone gives it to you? That kind of perk?
Yeah, like I heard a whisper. I heard a whisper,
Yes.
not from a network though, not from a network, but a whisper still the same.
Yeah, it's not a whisper network, but yeah, there is a secret perk that will be released later today. That it's going to be pretty awesome. That perk, you'll be able to get the Kanan White cover, which is exclusive. You'll be able to get a couple of other things added into that, some special items added onto that perk, but you'll also get free US shipping. So yeah. So be looking for that. We'll make sure to announce that as soon as we get all of that together here.
And you can tell Luke's not used to being on the screen alone, because when you're on the screen alone in StreamYard, you can't see the people at the bottom. Yeah. So you're just kind of alone, and you're like, I hope there are people there. I hope there's still people there. But you know what? You know what I've been asking myself, and Hybrids, we got to get that funded. You guys got to see this work. It's amazing work. Some of the best Luke has. But you know what I always wondered, Ben? What happened? Yeah. What would happen if RoboCop was made into a shark, or a shark was made into RoboCop? How about we go ahead and find out?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Let's do this. Let's do this. It's time for Shark of War. Let me give it the big blow up here. We're going big. We're going big. And look, some fan art. We didn't get to show this the other day the right way. Remember, just $1 matters. How many hours do we have left, Ben?
9, less than 9.
9 hours. 9 hours. All right, so you still got time to be part of this amazing project. Here we go. We're going to give it the full screen treatment.
Hello, my name is Ben Lacey. I hope you enjoyed that preview of issues 1 and 2 of Shark of War. If you liked issue 1, I think you'll love issue 2 as we hit the heart of the story. And if you haven't read issue 1 yet, well, there's a link below where you can check it out for free. Because I believe once you read it, you'll want to read even more. This is going to be a fun campaign. I've got a lot of cool extras like the Shark of War paper toy, Shark of War stickers, the Shark of War pin, Shark of War comic strips, and of course the Shark of War face mask. Both books are 100% complete, and I've already started work on issue 3. So please get in the Shark Tank and back my project. Thank you for your time.
All right, here you are on the hot seat, Ben. You got 9 hours to go. Sell these people. Tell them why they need to own Shark of War.
Look, if you like Jaws, or if you like RoboCop, or if you like Shark Week, I think you'll really like my book. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of shark action, far more than you get in most of those movies I mentioned. And it's got some cool dark humor. A lot of people, when they first see it, compare it to Sharknado, and I say, no, you really got to compare it to RoboCop, because that's what it is. It's a shark who's been turned into a cop, mostly against his will. But now that he's intelligent, he's trying to fight that. But at the same time, he's been programmed to do these certain actions, just as in RoboCop. And I think a lot of that action comes through, and there's a lot of excitement in it. I think there's also a lot of cool extras that people are going to like. I've done a lot of little cartoons that you saw a couple of them there. One of them is going to be one you get to vote on. I don't know if Rob wants to show it because he's probably scared Disney will sue him.
Yep, but, I don't mess with the mouse, Ben. I don't mess with the mouse.
I'm trying to fly under the radar, but it's a cool Baby Yoda meets Shark of War animation. I've got other cool little shark tunes as well that go into the book, into the back of the book in the digital edition. $5 gets you 8 books, gets you your name in the book, gets you the right to vote on what happens in that little cartoon, gets you a bunch of other extras. $10, you can even get the $5 more. If you want the digital comic book, you can still get my keychain, my sticker, my bookmark. And of course, you've got the paper toy template. And if we hit $12.50, I'm going to send everybody who's getting a physical copy of the book a color copy of my toy template, so you don't have to print it out yourself. You'll get a 24-pound paper copy you can work on with your kid or do it just for yourself. I mean, I have mine here that I just keep playing with. I had my wife make this actually because she's handier than I am with doing stuff like this. So I talked her into doing it. The picture in the promo though, in the Kickstarter though, is actually the one made by the professional designer who designed it for me. You can see what you could really do if you're really good with your hands. So I think people will like this book. It's second of the series. There's going to be at least 5 issues of the first story arc. So you're getting in on what'll be a full story. Each comic book is 28 interior pages, so it's much longer than your typical Marvel or DC book. I do all the art myself. I do all the writing myself. I have somebody doing a lettering. One of the features in the book in the first book is a backup on how I do my art, because my art's different from everybody else's, as you probably noticed. It also has a thing on the science of Shark of War. I'm an engineer with 30 years in the power industry, so I kind of explain how he eats people and converts them to fuel for his jet engines. So I have fun little extra features like that for the especially science nerdy, like myself. So I think people will like it, and I hope you'll give it a shot.
Now
Just 9 hours left.
And I want to follow up with you. You keep talking about RoboCop's dark humor. These young kids don't know about RoboCop. They know about the new RoboCop. They have no idea what you're talking about.
That's sad.
These young kids who don't go back and watch the older programs for some reason.
That's sad because the older RoboCop is so much better than any of the subsequent versions. The sequels too were disappointing, and which was really disappointing to me because Frank Miller was writing them, and I expected a lot, and they didn't quite pan out that way. But let me give you an example. In RoboCop, the first movie, there's a scene where the scientists making RoboCop are all excited because they managed to save one of RoboCop's human arms, and they're bragging about it to the corporate bigwig, and the corporate bigwig just looks at them disgusted and says, "I wanted full limb replacement. Cut it off." So that's the kind of dark humor you really have to see it. When I describe it, it probably sounds, "Oh, that's terrible," but when you see it in the movie, that's funny. And there's a lot of stuff like that in my book because the scientists who are creating the shark are very unethical. The bad guys who are hunting them are very cruel to the point of being funny, but not over the top funny, which is why I like to compare it more with RoboCop than Sharknado, because that was intentionally being over the top funny, and I'm trying to be a little more satirical.
Actually, I think ironically they were being serious at first and then went like Evil Dead. At first they were serious and then they gave up and just leaned into it. But I do want to ask you something about it. Can we talk just a little bit about the story? I don't want to give too much away, but the person who made the piranhas, there's some like almost Kit Car thing going. That's a Knight Rider thing, kids. Go back and watch 80s programming. It's better than the stuff coming out now.
Yeah, the shark is actually, they implanted an artificial. They increased his intelligence, but then they also implanted an artificial intelligence in him to try and to control him. So even after he escapes from the military, he's being pushed to do certain things to enforce U.S. law, which is how he winds up basically making himself the law of the sea and being very effective against criminal cartels operating on the eastern seaboard. So much so that they try to kill him. But there's this back and forth between him and this artificial intelligence on what he should be doing and why he should be doing it. It kind of forms a little bit of an odd couple relationship. I think that people who don't remember Knight Rider may also what's the DC superhero? Now I've said like Firestorm, who had has both the teenage kid and the professor's mind in the teenage kid's head. So the professor's always talking with him.
Martin Piero says, "Love that metal shark music," right? And then good morning. All right, guys. We're going to put in the link for
the music is a YouTube freebie. So I found that on YouTube. I made sure to credit the person who created it in the back of that video. But yeah, that was free YouTube heavy metal music that you can use copyright free. So I was really pleased to find that because I thought it worked really well with the intro.
And we're going to move on to the news right now. But before we do that, because I wanted to get these guys in and get them to be part of the show before any more stuff goes on, sometimes that entrance is so long because of all the bumps we have to play. I do have to play this. This is just a warning. It's the standard thing, so you guys understand the evil things I say are my evil things, and the evil things Ben says are his, and Luke just says things that we forgive him. We forgive him. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. All right. It's time to get to the news. Pretty excited about today's news. This is going to be in our newsroom, which you can get to by going to comicbookadvocates.com. goes directly into our newsroom, and in here, and this is blown up for today's show. It usually doesn't look like this, but in here, you guys can find the headlines of the week, which we're going to talk about today's headline, and you'll see it at the end of the show, which is pretty pertinent, actually. Today's headline is big news for Scout. We're going to talk about that. But they're also in our newsroom, which you're going to see as we're scrolling, is the fact that there is now a mail room as well. So we're going to be talking about the topics, and you're also, remember, Thursday, this afternoon, there'll be a way to vote for the top story, and we will have the Friday night wrap-up show tomorrow night at 9 p.m. We're doing a 9 p.m. show for anyone who can't be on these shows at 11 a.m. Eastern. So we're doing a 9 p.m. Eastern show where anyone can come in and talk about the week, and even if they want to drop some news. So, and we're also looking for some co-anchors, and of course, I'm your host, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm really trying to show you, and this is in every single room, is our mail room, which you can find all the way at the bottom. And these are all the people who bring this to you. Wow, this took a lot longer to scroll than I assumed it would. But there we go. So that's all of the newsroom. And here you go. Drop us a line on our newsroom right in here at the top. We're going to get down to the rundown. These are all the things, turning pages in comics. So check it out. Let us know. And let's start it off. This is going to be our main story, so we're going to skip it right now, but it is in our section of indie news because it belongs there. Luke, take this one. Take it away. And I'm going to make it a little smaller because now that Shark of War is done, we can go back to normal size.
Mark Darden has this book called Guano Guy. And Guano Guy is an absolutely hilarious book. He has put together a great team of artists. He has gotten some really cool covers. He's gotten some extension stories that are added in there. And here's the thing. Terraform Comics has started working with this guy and this book because we see the pure value that's in it, just the comedic value that's in this book. It had been pitched as kind of an all ages book, but I want to clarify right here on the news right now, Rob, that this is not an all ages book. You could probably have all ages read it, but not all ages are going to get the humor. This is more kind of old school, like 90s type humor, almost a little irreverent, but not too bad, but super funny. So if you are a Gen Xer, or like Gen X or like 90s, like funny 90s cartoons.
Like
yeah,
80s.
90s. Yeah.
So you like Ambush Bug or?
Yeah, maybe like that. I'm thinking, like the Animaniacs.
Tiny Toons.
Yeah, Animaniacs, Tiny Toons, that kind of stuff. With maybe a little bit more, let's say if the Animaniacs grew up, and they're now in their 30s and 40s, right?
Do you guys remember Berserker? It was very short-lived. It was he came from actually the Animaniacs. It's kind of in the vein of that, but it's awesome. There's such hidden humor. You gotta you read it and you go to the next panel and you're like, wait a minute, and you go backwards to go read the thing again. You just realize you missed the joke, and then when you read it again, you're like, oh damn, look what he did.
Yeah, and there's jokes inside of jokes and things like that, and so it's pretty funny. And it kind of goes back to that more lighthearted sense of a comic book and brings more joy. It's not, there's no like political agenda. There's no, it's not trying to teach anything. It's just trying to make you laugh. So this thing is live on Kickstarter right now, and he's sitting at 33 backers, and we got to get this thing moving. So there is a perk. There's a tier where you can pledge $1 and he gives you a preview. Like right away you get a preview of the story, and then you can decide to up your pledge or cancel your pledge. Hopefully you'll up it. Most people that have taken a look at that particular tier and have had, here's the thing, if you put your eyes on this book and you read a page, you read 2 pages, what's going to happen is you're going to want to buy the book. I mean, it's that good. So it's quite humorous.
And he does these great little videos that I'm pointing out right here. Check him out. Come into the thing. Remember, if you want to see this, all you got to do is click right here at the timestamp, and it'll take you straight to where it was posted on Kickstarter. You can check out that thing. The great video that he has. Ben, you want to read this? Can you read that?
It's the next one. Kevin Gunstone, Comic Book Network Advocates, who's a writer at Maricosia Enterprises. Fugitive Primitive Concept Art. For our crowdfunding drive, we'll be offering 6 prints of Bobin's stunning designs. Print 6, Pangean Landscape. Feel free to share.
And that's what we're doing, my friend. I hope that helps. I hope people get there. Some other big news from Scoot, and it's my turn, so I get to read this. How awesome is this? Scoot's going to be that magazine that's going to be focusing on great comic book materials for the ages of 4 to 12. And this is a sneak peek coming from Claire and the Dragons creator, Dragons by creator Wander in Tunis. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. More about this incredible all ages story soon. Definitely another must-have series. I like that art. Doesn't that art just jump off the page?
Yeah, that really
It really does, yeah.
It's a very nice all ages kind of art.
Yeah, like I look at this because now Jax is finally getting to the age where we're trying to get him to read. So like I'm writing down these things and I'm like, I gotta get that. It's another one that I gotta get. And Scoot's definitely gonna change the landscape, I think, of everything that's going on. So
I think it's really cool that they're doing that. To focus on younger readers, it's paramount in order to keep for me, in my opinion, to keep the comics industry alive.
Absolutely. And you're up, Luke. Can you give this a read? I'll blow it up because I know you're looking through our StreamYard.
Yeah, it's all right. I cannot see that. But here, I'll read it from. It's Russ Leach, right?
Russ Leach.
Yeah. Okay. It says, love the way comics used to be. This will make you smile. Only death can save us. It's on Indiegogo right now. It's live. So this is some art from his book. Man, that looks really cool. That looks really, really cool. So this book is called Only Death Can Save Us. And here's a little piece of the art there.
And Ben, you're up. Can you read the next one from Lady Satan? And you might
Lady
have
Satan. I thought. I don't think I'm seeing the.
Sometimes
right, I'm seeing the.
I'll read it because it's in front of me.
Yeah, I got it now. I think. Lady Satan, an angel in a killer dress, Act 1 of 5. I announced on my weekly live stream, Is It Just Us, last night that this is the cover for Lady Satan, an angel in a killer dress, Act 1. And that I will have an announcement to make concerning this book that I'll be dropping on October 31st.
Now that's a beautiful image right there. Got to give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, that's a nice cover.
Like that'll do it. That'll sell your property for you. And like I was saying, sometimes when you guys share pictures, when we do this new thing, it only brings over the picture, not the information. Don't know why yet. We're going to try to figure out the why so we can maybe get rid of it. I might have to copy and paste what they say into my thing as I'm sharing it. We'll figure it out. It's just a bump in the road. So Catch the Craze coming to Kickstarter. That's right. You're going to be able to do it this Saturday at 6 p.m. And this is brought to us by Sam. Only 3 days until we launch our first Kickstarter campaign. Join the launch party Saturday the 26th at 6 p.m. on YouTube. Catch the Craze. And this looks cool.
Looks like some cute characters.
It does, yeah.
This looks like it's going to be fun. I can't wait to cover more of it. Luke, can you talk to us about my good friend Dwayne the Showtime Robinson?
Dwayne the Showtime Robinson. He's got looks like he's got a book here. It says Vaughn is a half human and half demon who is hated by both. He is in hopes of one day finding peace and salvation. Follow Vaughn's journey plus other cool comics and more on our website at www.animationcomicsint.com. So the art looks really cool. I like the idea of that too.
And you know what? Let's check in. We have a correspondent. He's going to check in with us. Keanu, how are comics doing today?
Comics are awesome.
All right, thank you for our correspondent Keanu for checking in and letting us remind us that comics are in fact awesome. And of course, he's on Kickstarter right now with Berserker, which we covered yesterday on the show. You're up, Ben. We're doing Michael McAdams' Kickstarter, which is just
Michael McAdams, voiceover talent at livemike.com. His Kickstarter is live at bit.ly/KS_PREV. It's issue number 2 of this LGBT superhero comic series. Spectrum, I guess, is the name. And it's for more information, you can go to 2gargs.com/spectrum. Oh, it's 2 Gargoyles Comics.
Yes,
we're live. Get on over and support indie comics artists and LGBT creativity all at the same time.
And I've always loved indie comics. Like, everyone talks about inclusion and diversity, and I always say, if you're not seeing it in comics, it's because you're not following indie comics. The independent creators are constantly coming up with new ideas, new things. I do a book about fetish. I do a book that has a farting elephant that teaches morals. Luke actually has hybrids, which, while it's not preachy at all, it has a center that's important, and it deals with dynamics of humanity that Spider-Man used to do. Is like almost a throwback to when it was the humanity within the characters, and I give him a lot of credit. And of course, Ben is slapping rockets on sharks, so there's so much
Slapping rockets on sharks.
Like, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. Come join us in the indie sphere. All right, Luke, you're up.
I'm
David.
up.
This
David
is a famous
Markowski.
Spider-Man image.
Shared a link to the group Comic Books Advocates Network. And this right here is I'm just going to open that up so I can see it a little bit bigger. Everyone else can see that part there. I'm just opening the Superhero Speak news. All right, so here it is. This week, the guy shares some sad news about Michael Hogan, Battlestar Galactica, trailers for WandaVision and Mandalorian Season 2, and She-Hulk casting news. They also discuss, is that what I'm supposed to be reading, Bob? Because that doesn't make any sense.
You can read their headlines if you want.
Discuss Craven's Last Hunt. Plus, a bonus. This episode also contains an interview with J.M. DeMatteis. I'm going to guess DeMatteis. So the Superhero Speak episode 376 presents Resurrection, and then that's O'Grady's Last Hunt. So
yeah, I think that was DeMatteis's best work was that Craven's Last Hunt.
Oh yeah, super awesome work.
All right, Ben, talk to us about Marv-E's creations.
I'm going to butcher this name. Marv Vasconcelos at Charles Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters has a YouTube. I can't quite read the top here. Ryan Wynn, Clint Stroker, Hammerella Launch Party. Alterna Comics Live. Hammerella Launch Party with Ryan Wynn and Clint Stoker. Alterna Comics, because you demanded it.
So
and
cool
it's got
stuff.
An Indiegogo that I can't quite read all the Indiegogo. It's kind of clipped off here.
That's all right. They can go to the video, check it out. So we want you guys to go to these articles as well. We'll tell you a little snippet every so often, give you an opinion. But it's up to you to click those things. Like our good friend Sam, recent episode number 5 of the Indie Comics Hall has some great comics, including The Devil's Highway. So I approve of that title. So I think you should go out and see if it's worth picking up. And our good friend Sam will let us know. Talk to me about, Luke, this amazing Silvio Spotti's art that he's got going on here.
You know, this thing is friggin' sick. I mean, obviously you can see it. This is some gorgeous art. I love the colors and things like that. But here's what he has to say about this Swords of Justice. His top secret press. Get to know more about all books. You get a digital copy and check out Swords of Justice number 1 and number 2 that's on Kickstarter. And that is at Kickstarter.com. His link is really long and gets cut off there, but definitely follow that link. Go to the website there, grab that link, follow through to that. That looks pretty awesome. So Swords of Justice 1 and 2 are live on Kickstarter right now.
Ben, are you ready to get naughty?
Yep, these are some cute chibi figures here from CB Zane, a freelance artist on Kickstarter at Naughty Fairies. It looks like the project. Stretch goal number 7 unlocked. You can now get the complete set of chibi stickers free. Might, Sirenus, and Catnip. If you're down with Comic Unity, you support the indie comic community, check out this truly unique month-long virtual convention. But I assume this is for the Kickstarter for this. And these
it's like a hybrid
bonus rewards.
Yeah, it's a hybrid of a Kickstarter meets an online event that lasts 30 days. So we're keeping an eye on it. They throw some panels up every so often. It's not like a 30 inclusive, not every day is like full of stuff. So every day's got something special. So from our friend Gerard Cooper, we have, okay, here we go. The Cosmic Theater begins. Join us. And this is for Genesee #1. And you're up, Luke Stone.
Well, would you believe it? But Geek Girl is back. Who missed Geek Girl?
I did.
This is Sam Johnson's project.
Yeah.
I think we all missed Geek Girl. So Geek Girl has proven herself as a hero and been invited to front a super team, but things don't go as planned with this. So Ruby, aka Geek Girl, her BFF Summer, and her new teammate, the Minger, head to an outlandish fancy dress club nightclub, and Ruby wants to go incognito on her night off. So Summer, to her delight, gets to go to the Geek Girl costume and glasses with powers. So this looks like it's going to be a fun book.
Luke, this is also the book where there's a Guano guy sighting.
There is a Guano guy sighting in this book, and I believe the two campaigns are somehow linked, aren't they?
Well, I believe that Geek Girl is just selling it, and it's now available in more places to buy, including the Guano Guy right now, actual campaign. So if you want to check out Guano Guy, because we've sold you today, you could also get Geek Girl, the book where they crossed over, funny stuff, and then fall in love with Geek Girl, and then you'll be right back here to get more links to the things that are all Geek Girl. You want to catch up with the entire series, which you can get the full graphic novels, by the way, on Amazon, believe it or not. And see all the great crowdfunding that we have going on by clicking the link right here, going to our comicbookadvocates.com and just hitting the logo that you see on your screen, and it'll take you to everything that we're covering that's crowdfunding. And our mainstream market watch is brought to us by the guys over at Indie Vault. Give your fandom a recharge. Subscribe to Indie Vault today. So let's do the mainstream market watch. So here we go. Who wants to take the first news? It's kind of exciting. Ben, we'll give it to you.
Okay. Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League film to film with more. And now I got to click on the link because it's cutting off on me here. Film with more Affleck, Cavill, Godot, and Fisher. Zack Snyder's assembling his Justice League
awesome.
at least once more.
Oh my goodness!
I'm sorry, I wasn't that thrilled with the first film, so I don't know. Will the cut be that much better? Has anybody seen this yet?
No, it'll be out on HBO Max in 2021. I hear they're trying to literally aim for January, but I don't know if they'll make January. I think you'll see it around March if they don't do it for like April or May, right before the movies are coming back. So of course, Phase 4 for Marvel was scrapped this year and has been totally pushed into 2021 as far as we know right now. I mean, for just random news, we've actually lost. I'm a New York City native. We just lost the ball drop for New Year's Eve. They will not be doing it in Times Square this year. The Thanksgiving Day parade is going to be virtual and pre-taped. It's going to be like San Diego Comic-Con did. Pre-tape everything and pretend it's live. Sorry, San Diego Comic-Con.
You mean they're not going to have balloons? Without balloons, there's no reason.
Oh, they're going to have balloons attached to cars driving around the city. It's going to look like a weird Joker moment where this toxic gas, run, the balloons are here. But you know what also is cool about Batman? The reason I said Joker, and here's the tie-in. DC introduces the new Mindhunter Nightmare Batman. Imagine if Batman was Martian the Manhunter and he used his powers to give you nightmares. Oh, my. So really, 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 dude, you got to click the link.
It's awesome. Yeah, it is so awesome.
I was like a little kid. I was like, I actually timed it so I could read that because that's how excited I planned it so far ahead that I was going to read that. I don't know. It didn't really happen that way. I just got lucky. But someone else who's gotten lucky is our good friend, the Hurricane, which is Hunter. What was it? Helmsley? Something. I forgot his first name. Oh, Shane Hurricane. That's what it was. Shane Hurricane Hemsley. Hunter, of course, Triple H. That's why I'm getting confused. But he did great stuff. I don't know if either one of you are a comic book fan and a wrestling fan. I'm a huge wrestling fan. So he's going to be doing both now. You guys ever hear of the series Headlocked?
I'm sorry, what?
Headlocked. It's this series where this creator has looked at a kid's journey into professional wrestling. Great stuff. Click the link. Learn more about it. Sean did an amazing job bringing this character to life on the big screen. I can't wait to see what he does on the actual comic book format that he's going to be doing. He's actually taking classes. How encouraging is that to hear that he's taking comic book writing classes before he releases a comic book? That's exciting, right, guys?
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, that's nice.
And Ben, I know you're going to want to read this, and I know Luke's not going to, so I'm going to give you the next one.
Archer, 10 best comic book references of the series. Archer is famous for its hilarious writing and brilliant, if somewhat obscure references. But which ones had comic book fans falling out of their seats? My youngest son loves Archer, so
Archer's the bomb. Archer's like one of those things where, again, it's that humor that hits you 1 second later and you're laughing, so you have to pause it because you're laughing so hard and you're missing some. So that's really great stuff. All right, Luke, I'm going to skip my turn so we can get back in line. You go ahead and read this. This is awesome news.
This is awesome news. So in Panama City, Florida, we have the Bay County Library, and they're offering free comic book day to all parents, kids, adults, comic book fans of all shapes and sizes. So basically what it is, so everyone can drop off, can get 4 free comic books just for them simply by visiting the library and calling the main number to ask for a drop off. So this is awesome. I mean, comics have been known to get a lot of people into reading. I actually just found out for when you homeschool your kids, what happens is you are allowed, whenever it talks about you have to read so many books, all you have to read is 20 pages. So 20 pages of a comic book, you can count that as reading as a book. So for young people that that are having trouble with reading or are interested in reading, some teachers and some families are using comic books as a way to get them into reading. And so this is great that the library is doing this, and they're stepping up where some of our stores maybe have not been able to do the free comic book day. They're doing it in full force. So this is tremendous news, and I definitely encourage people to go by and read the full article.
And I do want to point out that all the different sites that we're getting news from. So comicbook.com brought us Zack Snyder. DC introduces Mindhunter was the comicbook.com. And then Games Radar. So it's an actual site that deals with games is also covering comic books now. It inhaled an entire wing, CBR, and now a news show. And we're starting to see this. You see how far comics are going across the board? Every show, I want to point that out to you guys. This is really cool, Ben. You get a great story right now.
Okay, so video about students who presented research in comic book form earns, now I got to click on it, award. And it looks like they won something called the TAG Award, which I'm going to have to admit I don't know what that is. I guess I'm going to have to look at the article here.
Well, I can fill you in.
Down. Technical Association of the Graphic Arts.
I can fill it in for you, Ben. I watched this video. You should all watch this. So these scientist kids actually made a comic book for their research paper. They made a sleeve. It looks awesome. They got to different tech departments to work with each other. They're using comic books to teach actual scientific information. We need stories like this flooding our market. And I thought Ben would love this story considering his engineering background. So this is something you might.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, this is something you might want to do. And we're going to give Luke the bad news. He's going to read it out for people.
Yes. Okay. So this is coming from comicbook.com. DC might have just killed a Superman, and so they're in the midst of a kind of this story arc right now. And so in Action COMiX 1025, the group faces off. There's a few of them. There's Superman, Supergirl, John.
Hold on. Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Like this and count to 10. Go ahead.
1, 2. 3.
No, not you.
So anyway, they're closing in on the Invisible Mafia, and then this event of emergency option was activated by Dr. Glory and Robinson Good. Dr. Glory, working on Marisol Leon's orders, released a powerful being from another reality. And this is a parasite-type being who killed the Superman from his own dimension, absorbing his own powers. And so without going into any more of those details, they very well could have killed off Superman, or at least this version of Superman, or could be doing that. So there's a lot of news in DC. DC's
that'll last a long time.
Yeah, but there's a lot of news coming out with DC, like a lot of Batman news, a lot of Superman news. It's really kind of interesting that they're making a lot of moves creatively over there. So,
well, they didn't take any time off. That's what happens when you kept going during the pandemic. Now you have something to talk about. You're up, Ben.
A Batman character might have just called it quits. I guess this needs another spoiler alert. The Bat family has been put through the proverbial ringer over the past few months of DC Comics as the Joker War event has completely upended the status quo for essentially every character. That has especially been the case within, plug your ears, the pages of Batgirl, which has shown Barbara Gordon and those in her orbit being profoundly impacted by the Joker's anarchy in Gotham City. This week, issue saw certain characters being pushed to their breaking point, and one potentially being at a crossroads with regards to their future as a superhero.
You don't have to read the whole article, Ben. You can just get to the big spoiler at the end.
Yeah, I wasn't going to. I was kind of skimming through here to try and see if I'm right in who I think the superhero is. This could be coming up their hat.
Spoiler.
This is another one I think will be temporary if it is.
Spoiler in 4, 3, 2. Close your ears. Go ahead. Tell them who it is, Ben.
Yeah, it looks like Batgirl. We're gonna lose
Barbara?
Batgirl for at least a little while, maybe.
Yep, she's had too much, and it looks like
she's got the old sad look on her face. Takes the mask off. Reminds me of that issue of Spider-Man where he throws his costume in the trash.
Yeah, and I did an homage cover to that with actually my Barbara.
But he finds a reason to become Spider-Man again.
There's always another reason. But Barbara might leave and become Oracle again. We never know. Some other news coming from DC, and this is all death metal has changed DC in such an amazingly great way.
Yes.
Stuff coming out. This is speed metal. But more importantly, just because that's on the cover, it's not it. An actual television show is now WCBD, an NBC affiliate, is actually covering every week's comic book. Wednesday, new book day. I know Tuesday's new comic book day too, but on Wednesdays, they're doing a segment that talks about all the new shows. This is the kind of stuff we've been dying for, guys. Look at where comics is going, because we never stopped. DC was with us. They never put their pencils down. They kept going. They scrapped a lot of stuff. They fired a lot of people, but they kept creating content. And here it is now, and we're seeing the greatness of it. So you're up, Luke Stone, and I know that you're a big John Cena fan.
I am a John Cena fan, and this looks really, really cool. So a show called Peacemaker is coming out. This is James Gunn, John Cena. They're working together on this, and this is the first Suicide Squad spin-off show that's going to be on HBO Max. And so this is going to debut in August of 2021, but it's actually going to feature the Suicide Squad in there. So really, really cool. Here's a quote from the article that I think you guys should hear. It said, Peacemaker is an opportunity to delve into current world issues through the lens of this superhero, supervillain, and world's biggest douchebag, Gunn said. I'm excited to expand the Suicide Squad and bring this character from the DC film universe to the full breadth of a series. And of course, to be able to work again with John, Peter, and my friends at Warner Brothers is icing on the cake. So this is going to be, I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be make you think a little bit, but I think it's going to be a fun series. And John Cena, he looks like a superhero, but he is a funny guy. So I'm expecting some really cool things out of this series. So, and
Ben has some bad news for us to report.
Yeah, you're going to give me this one. The WWE Road Warrior Animal, Joseph Laurinaitis, cause of death revealed. He died at 60, it looks like here. And he was part of the, Legion of Doom.
Yeah, bad news coming
cause of death. I'm trying to skim that.
Well, you find out the cause of
natural causes is all. It said natural causes, so 60 is kind of young for natural causes. So
well, find out more information at Comic Book. Yeah, but comicbook.com will cover it a little bit more if they get any more. Click the link. Pay your condolences to the family by going to Twitter and sharing a story with how he affected your life. Some good news. I knew we need to bring it up. So cool Rick and Morty cosplay. Someone's bringing Jessica to life. I've seen it. You got to click on the link for comicbook.com. It's actually rather good. I think they nailed it.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. She looks
well done. All right, I know Luke's a Star Trek fan, so here you go.
Well, I'm not a Star Trek fan. I was back in the 60s, when I wasn't alive. But there seems to be some news. There is a rumor going around that Star Trek 4 has been canceled, that they're not going to be making that movie. Well, Star Trek 4 and other Star Trek movies are not canceled, says Paramount. They are saying that that's not the case, but the showings for the last movies have not been very good. And down here in the article, it says, it now seems that hopes of another Star Trek big screen reboot have themselves gone by the wayside, potentially. The website Giant Freaking Robot, which first broke news of the new Trek series, Strange New Worlds, now says Paramount has nixed Howley's Trek and indeed will no longer be in the business of making any of the proposed in-development Trek movies. The site's sources says Paramount has decided to focus on Star Trek TV properties, though...
Let them go to the article to read the rest of that so they can find out for themselves.
That sounds like a plan.
We want to show some love to Screen Rant for covering our fandom. And are you a fan, Ben? I didn't know Luke wasn't a fan. I wouldn't have given him the article. You a Star Trek?
I'm a big fan of the original gang. Because that's my era.
All right. You both suck.
Kid in the 70s, and I watched those over and over again. I still like them.
I'm going to take this one. I'm taking this one. Jonathan Frakes pitched a Q for his Star Trek Next Generation movie. It would have been awesome. These two don't understand what that means. That would have made this movie so much awesome. Q is such a great character. I really wish that we'd done that. We're going to get to the main story right now. We have just enough time. We're going to give this 10 minutes, and then both gentlemen are going to give us pitches on the way out. So here it is. Big news. Big moves made by Scout Comics. They signed a deal with Simon and Schuster, and I think I'm saying that right. Schuster, thank you. And this is big news for Scout. This is like a doorway into bookstores, international distribution. This changes their game. Scout has not only created new imprints, we've seen Andrea Molinari taking the Shepherd from Caliber to Scout Comics, which is a move that is like gigantic, because we know how much work Andrea has put into Caliber. So that's the show of confidence he has for his work at Scout as well. But now we're seeing and that's going to be under Pyramid Comics, where that's launching in 2021. Scoot is launching in 2021 for the younger readers. Amazing titles already coming through with this. And now we're seeing this. What do you guys think? Is Scout making the move to be number 5 possibly in the next 2 years?
I think they're leveling up for certain, yeah. And I think with the kind of the change of things where it's not just a strictly diamond world anymore, I think signing a deal with Simon and Schuster just shows that they're looking for the long game there. And I agree with you. They could be, what are they now? Number
8.
Number 8?
They're number.
Yeah, they could be moving up to number. Yeah, they could be moving up to number 5 within the next few years.
And I do want some breaking news. Ooh, I got a graphic for that. I didn't get to get one of my other graphics up, but I do have this one. It's breaking news. All right. So from our comments, because we read the comments section and I keep up with it, Marv Artwork says, hey, how are you? I'm good. Thank you for asking, Marvy. Late but here. Rob, Ryan wasn't able to launch due to technical difficulties. Marv is going to let us know as soon as possible when he'll be able to. Okay, so that story we covered from RV a little earlier, it did not go as planned. Stay tuned to our news network here at CNW. There we go. I don't know why I was tripping over that. We'll cover it. We'll tell you all about it. And Superman will be dead for a few months. It's not Superman that's dying. You missed the spoiler. The person who is dying, it's going to, my sister can't know. There'll be tears. There'll be tears if my sister finds out. She's such a fan of that character. But back to Scout and what they're doing. How important is it for comic books, do you think, especially what is considered the independent level, to now be making deals like this and moves like this? Ben, you've been quiet, so you go for it first.
Yeah. I mean, I go into Barnes and Noble, and there's a pretty good graphic novel section there. So if that gets them into the Barnes and Noble bookstores in the graphic novel section, is trade paperbacks, that's going to probably help them a lot and expand their reach. Because I mean, a lot of people don't go into comic shops. They don't go in, and they aren't going to look for individual issues on Amazon. They look for trade paperbacks. So I think a lot of people, who are buying comic books like this will get a shot at them. And also, I think, you know, my library here has a pretty good selection of trade paperbacks from comic books. So this gives them a chance to get into libraries where more people will be exposed to them.
Yeah, and Luke, as a person who's running Terraform, is this a move where you're paying attention and going, good, this is a door, this is what we need?
Yeah, I really am, especially, you know, now seeing that these companies are taking some of these independent groups pretty seriously. You know, I mean, obviously Scout has done a lot of great moves. They're bringing on a lot of really good IPs. They're working hard while everybody else was pencils down. They were definitely putting in the work, and it's showing. But for to be able to sign a deal with Simon and Schuster, I do believe they're also in Diamond already. Are they?
Oh yes, absolutely. They are in Diamond. Yeah. They're nationally distributed. They're the ones who came up with that vending machine display. They're just, I mean, at Terraform Comics, we're trying to change the landscape of comics, but they might be beating us to it in many ways.
I think they are a little bit. So yeah, I'm really looking.
We're gonna have to game up, man.
Yeah, I like watching what they're doing. That's for sure.
All right, so let's talk about you two fine gentlemen. One last push for the campaigns. We'll start with Ben. Here we are. We're looking at it. You're at 70 backers right now, Ben. Are you there?
I got one backer since we started. Yeah, am I here?
Yeah.
I got one backer since we started, so that's something. And that ties what I had for campaign 1 and actually beats it when you take out the fact that some of my family and friends have gotten sick of me on this. So go to sharkofwar.bitingcomics.com, and if all my blather hasn't sold you on it yet, there's a link there you can click and you can read issue 1 for free, because I think if you read issue 1, you'll like it enough that you'll want to get issue 2. For $5, I'm giving away a lot of stuff, 8 comic books, including my own, the Shark of War toy template, the get to vote on the Baby Yoda fate, and for just $10, you can also get my keychain, sticker, and bookmark, and then the book itself. If you want the hard copy, that's $12 with free U.S. shipping. So I'm hoping to get to 75 backers or so at least. And if I get to $1,250, I'm going to send everybody getting the book a color copy of that Shark of War toy template, so you don't have to print it out yourself. I'm going to do it for you.
And Ben, thank you for being on the program today. Can they subscribe to your?
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Can they subscribe to your website so they can know about you?
bitingcomics.com. That'll not only get them the free issue 1, but I've got a few other little freebies too, like how to make a template to make your own Shark of War face mask, for example, doing a t-shirt face mask. And I show myself doing that. Plus, I have little things like Shark of War screensaver and some other Shark of War animations you get just for signing up.
All right. And remember the power of $1. Consider giving Ben $1 today. And here's why. Never underestimate the power of a single dollar. Just one single dollar can help make dreams come true. Every dollar is a declaration of support and belief. It helps the creators and the teams behind the book. Just $1 helps create new worlds and keeps creators creating. And if you're going to be creating something on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, get Kickstarter for the Independent Creator, 2nd edition, a practical and informative guide to crowdfunding by Madeline Holly-Rosing and Christy Shin. It is an amazing book that will help you navigate the ins and outs of crowdfunding. Ben, I did hear, I think you're having technical difficulties. If you got to take off for the day, if you can hear me, by all means, we're going to go on to Luke and his project right now. Thank you for being on, Ben. Luke, you're in the hot seat.
All right. So yeah, Hybrids, the Sons of Gods is right now live on Indiegogo. We do have an exclusive cover over there by Kanan White. We are sitting at, I believe, 77 backers at the moment, and we are $523 away from hitting our funding goal of $5,000. Once we hit that goal, that $5,000 goal, we are going to go ahead and open up and go live on Kickstarter at the same time. So from now until, for I think the last 24 days, or as soon as that goes until the end of the campaign. Both campaigns will be live so that you can get on both platforms if you want. We will combine the totals from both platforms in terms of dollars and backers to reach those backer goals and stretch goals that we have. And so we do have an $8,000 stretch goal, which will include 12 more pages into the book. And so you're going to get the 5 issues. You're going to get the Serafina story, the exclusive post-credits story. You're going to get the creator commentaries, and you're also going to get a bunch of backup stories from some really, really talented creative teams. And so those you do not want to miss. The art is great. The writing is great. The colors are great. Everything is great. You're going to love it. So that is going live there. And hopefully within the next hour or so, we will be announcing a kind of a partnership with another group where they are going to run a fun contest for anyone who comes by and backs the Indiegogo in the next, hopefully today, tomorrow, the next few days. So we're looking forward to that.
Who could that be, Luke? I mean, we don't want to give away who could that. We don't want to give away.
Yeah. It might be something that rhymes with Meek Bensider. Something. Yeah, I don't know. So check that out. It's going to be really cool. We are so close to the mark there. If you've already got the first 5 issues, it's not just the first 5 issues that you can get here. The trade paperback does include more content, so you're getting way more content. But we also have exclusive covers. We have a connected cover set that you can get, which was drawn by the great Brian Dawson. It was colored by Alan Emanuel, and so those look really good. And it's basically all 5 covers create one large panoramic picture. You can get those, and we've also got a set of homage covers, which I'm getting some of the art back for the first 3, and we're getting all the art will be done by the end, but I'll have some samples to start previewing here this weekend. So we're doing homage covers to the for all of the books, and we've added a patch. Every perk above the at the collector's pack and above all gets a patch. So we've got an iron-on patch for that too. So yeah, a lot of really cool things.
Now, I did hear that Voodoo Nations is not only successfully funded, but been successfully delivered. It's just a shame that they can't get that book within this campaign. Well,
that will be something that we'll add on at some point. So once we're funded, I'm going to create a new perk that's going to have basically everything that I've ever done. So you can add those things on or tack a copy of. I do have a few copies of Voodoo Nations, and you'll be able to tack that on. I'll be able to add that in there here soon. So
in other words, if they got to share this if they're a backer to make sure that they can get that amazing perk added as soon as possible.
Absolutely, yeah. So as soon as we hit the $523 that we need, we will add the Voodoo Nation, my copies of Voodoo Nations in there, so you can get a copy of that too, and those will ship with the book. So fun stuff.
It's an amazing show. We had some great creators on today. That's what we like about the energy of this show. We got to hear that Marv E's campaign is going to be coming soon, so stay tuned with that. Listen, guys, go out there, support other creators, support each other. Join us Friday night for our show. This is the CNW Presents Weekended, Fridays at 9 p.m. You guys are going to be able to vote on what was the top stories this week in just a few hours. We're going to be setting that up as we go on, and we'll add all of Friday's stories that we hit tomorrow in as we do it. This is the exciting time of the year where New York Comic-Con would have happened, but it's not happening this year. But that's okay. There's going to be great content coming, so stay tuned for that. I know for a fact that Comic Book School has not given up on you fans. You know how much I'm a huge fan of Comic Book School. They are going to be doing something as soon as I get concrete information. You guys are going to get it. I wanted to tease it today. I wanted to talk about that. We are just about out of time. I want to thank my guests for being on with us today. You guys did a great job helping me tell everyone about the things turning pages in comics today. And we're out of here. So with that, make sure to send us a piece of mail at the Comics Newswire at yahoo.com. This is the place where you can send us your news so we can have it featured on the show. And with that, we take our leave of you. We wish you the best of days, and we can't wait to cover your comic book news next.